Hi and hello. Okay, here we are here to talk about what are the common challenges in implementing a laboratory quality management program. A lot of challenges to a lot of people. Anything that you don't know is a challenge. But once you know how to do it, it no longer remains a challenge. So let's turn our challenges into our assets. And in order for us to bring about that change from challenges to assets, what is it that we need to address? There are about 6 areas that I would say are the key areas which, which need to be addressed because they are the most common challenges when we are implementing a robust quality control program. One is resistant to change. I'll explain in detail. Lack of resources, complying with the regulatory requirements, maintaining the momentum, lack of expertise, and integration with the existing process and system. Each and every one of it has a very, very big role to play. Let me start with resources. No, let me start with resistant to change. Remember, anybody and everybody, they're very, very comfortable in what they are doing. They've gone into that comfort zone and they're used to doing it in a particular way. But when you bring in a new concept, they need to come out of that comfort zone. I'm sitting on this chair, I'm very comfortable. Suddenly something happens and a new chair comes in, I will find it a little bit till I get used to it. So that amount of resistance will always be there for anything new. And as a result of this resistance, what happens is the whole program slows down. So, if you want the program to again catch momentum, we need to assist that. We need to address that resistance of change. Now, how do we address it? There are numerous methods in which we can resist the change. That is another total different session. But keep in mind that resistance to change is one of the factors that everybody faces a challenge when we are trying to put systems into place. Now, second, lack of resources. Sometimes when we are going into for a big project like documenting the entire thing, going in for accreditation, people are used to just doing their work and going. Now you need somebody to document everything, to monitor what is going on, to review it. So additional resources in terms of man power, what should I say, documents, um, equipment. See, you'll need extra computers, you'll need extra logbooks, you'll need registers, you'll need extra people. And if you are running at a very, 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 very tight budget and just enough for you to just do the job, then that is a big challenge because you need to then go and convince the management that why you need extra resources. And in order to convince the management, you have to have your data of each person. What is he doing? From what time to what time that job is being, it's taking up how much of time. And for that, you need to make a list of all the work that one person does, attaches, that's attached to his roles and responsibilities, and the time frame he takes for each. So that way, making roles and responsibilities and the time frame, actual work time frame that the person takes to do the job, will give a very clear cut picture to the management as to why we are asking for additional resources, and not just so that our job will be cut by half and somebody else will take the burden. So there is a systematic way of going about approaching the management also when there are lack of resources. Next, compliance with the standards. We know we have to comply with the standards, and the standards are complex. The standards are really complex. You need to understand which, and they all are interrelated, and you need to navigate and the interface between each of these standards, how well you make everybody understand that this is linked to this, this is linked to this, this is linked to this, can be very time consuming and resource consuming. So that is another challenge which you will. Then maintaining the momentum. Remember, it's not you do it and you forget it. It is a long term program. And for any long term program, you need commitment and dedication. You need commitment and dedication. And it can be challenging to maintain the momentum and ensure that every staff, they are motivated and engaged throughout the implementation program. Anytime you find somebody's down, let them up. Don't worry, I'm there with you. I'll make it easy. If you're finding something difficult, let me know. I will make it easy for you. Then there are times when lack of expertise. Remember, we all know that this was not a part of a curriculum. It has never been given importance. But now with technology coming, equipment coming in, all the manual processes are all out. It's all automation. We learning. When computerization came into the banks and all that, everybody, old people, everybody struggled to understand what computers are. Now it's become a norm. So like that, we need to ensure that the lack of expertise don't stop us from growing. So how do we overcome this challenge? Make it simple, make it easy for people to understand, and handhold them. That is a way in which we can ensure compliance and whatever they are feeling demotivated, that imposter syndrome, all that can be mitigated. And then you will develop a beautiful program which they will take it as an ownership and implement. Then integrating with the existing program. So many a times it's very challenging. I remember the time when we had a manual system going, and then the EMR in 2000, I'm talking about 2000, way back in 2000, when we had to integrate between the HIS, LIS, hospital information system, lab information system, and the manual system. And the way we eased out it, I remember training everybody on what aspects. Then, here is a big tip. Then we told them for the next 2 months, we will run both parallelly. First, do it in there. I know it's double work, but then if you're finding any hitches, and it doesn't work through with your work text instructions that I've given, then only switch to manual. But after that, I went on to, I'll give you 1 week's time. After that, I'm removing the paper. And a time came when I absolutely removed the paper. And those were the days in 2000 when people didn't know anything about computers, were not willing to use way 23 years back, 2000. So it's very important that we integrate the existing process and the system, take them along with us, understand. If somebody is saying I can't do it, don't think that they're purposely saying they can't do it. There must be a reason why they are not able to do it. Of course, there will be one odd person who is just, I am not going to do it. Then make it very clear to them. Well, sorry, sir, then you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. The world is changing and you need to change. If you don't change, you are here. The world is moving. Now, if you think you're going to be here, it's okay, I'll be here. But no, as the world is changing, you're going down and down. You might be, but the gap is increasing. At a point of time, you are at the bottom. Because everybody has surpassed. You have remained the same. But you remaining the same, you have become right at the bottom now. Because the gap has increased and you are no longer relevant. And when your relevancy is out, then you are out of the system. Would you have an old redundant computer at home? No. So make them understand that life is a transition. It involves integrating, and we need to do it in a momentum, and we need to have expertise in whatever new is coming. And when you understand that this is all, I know, I also go through that resistance. I also have all these things. When you keep yourself and you tell them that I understand what you're going through and I'm here to make it a lot more easier, then what happens is they gel with you and integrate very, very well. And then it doesn't seem to be a problem at all. And these common challenges will be somebody else's challenges and not yours. So change your challenges to assets.